What's going on, all of my Power Director peeps? You know who it is. It's your boy. I'm back in the building. Hey, your Power Director professor is here, and I'm doing my live stream thing, okay? I'm doing it for you. Wednesday night. Now, this is going to be a regular occasion. I'm going to start doing Q&A live all the time for you guys so you know exactly, what's going on, how things are going. Get to ask questions and all of that jazz. So get ready. Now, besides this, if anybody misses the live stream for some reason, tell your friends. Tell your friends if you miss it, don't worry. I'll be doing a recap on Thursday and uploading that to YouTube with some of the better questions out there. So if you want to get your name and your YouTube channel or your Facebook page or whatever highlighted during the recap session, ask your questions, and if they're great questions, a brother like me gonna go ahead and answer them for you. So, first and foremost, I did want to say, for those of you who didn't know, there was a update to PowerDirector 365 recently. So if you got PowerDirector 365, you might have some new little trinkets and toys and things that you can play with, and those things always are impressive to me. I love the fact that they give us, little free templates here and there, new transitions or other things like that from time to time. I love the fact that they're always giving us newness to deal with and giving us some things to help us create better videos and things like that. So I guess I'll start off with a few of these comments that I see right here. So I got Mazteca Film says, PD Love. PD Love in the building. Appreciate that. I love you too. I love all of my peeps out there, man. So, we got Steve Williams in the building. He says, good to see you. Good to see you too, Steve. Glad that you could join us for the Q&A tonight. So thank you for stopping through. All right, who else we got here? All right, the rest of the comments that we got so far, hopefully we have some more things coming in, fast and furious. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with some of the questions here. Oh, by the way, if you're willing to help out the channel, if you got the funds, if you can help us out, please feel free to do super chats and super stickers. Those really help me be able to keep creating for you guys and coming up with tutorials and keeping the channel strong. So if you can't afford to do so, please go ahead and hit me up with a super sticker or a super chat. Thank you so much. So, we will get started with the questions. Delvin Molden says, how does PD, you can make sure this is on the screen here. Devin Molden says, how does PD measure up to other editing software? That is a great question, Delvin. So, in my humble opinion, it really depends on the user and what they are doing, right? So, I don't think you can measure any software one-to-one because people are going to look at certain types of software and say that they like one better than the other based on their own needs and based on how complex they want things to be. So, for example, a lot of the videos that I make that are not on YouTube, when I work for clients, I make event videos. Like, it could be a wedding. It could be a concert. It could be, sometimes I'll do music videos or, commercials or things like that. So for those types of things, if I don't need any type of, let's say, complex effects like rotoscoping, if I don't need to rotoscope out something because it's moving and I need to take it out of there because I'm trying to make some fantastic effect, PowerDirector is all I need. Okay, I think it really boils down to, and what a lot of people don't think about is this: editing is just one part of the process. What it really boils down to is your understanding of how to film, how to compose shots, your lighting, sound, all of those things come into play. And if you do those things right, if you make a documentary, right, using PowerDirector, and you're not doing a bunch of crazy effects and stuff, you're just making a documentary. It's like any other documentary out there. If you make a documentary using PowerDirector and you make a documentary using Final Cut or Adobe Premiere Pro, guess what? Nobody's going to be able to tell the difference because PowerDirector has all of the tools that you need to create a video, a documentary, a news briefing, a music video, things like that. All those things that you need, PowerDirector has them. So when you ask the question, how does it measure up to other software? I respond by saying it's up to the needs of the user. If you are somebody who works in Hollywood, you need to make a bunch of effects and you need to do all this crazy stuff, you probably not going to want to use PowerDirector. Besides the fact that you have to do other more complex things, you also have to be able to share your files or your projects with other people. And so because of that, you want to be using a software that all of the other professional Hollywood people are using. And that's probably going to be either Final Cut or Premiere Pro. So you would want to fall in line so that you could share projects with them and work together and collaborate on things. If you're just the only one out there using PowerDirector, even if you can get things done, it's harder to share your projects and things like that. So that's another consideration that you need to make if you're using it. So to me, for my needs, I think PowerDirector measures up to any other software out there. There's nothing that I can't do for my needs on PowerDirector that I could do with Final Cut, Premiere Pro, Sony Vegas, whatever. For my needs, professionally, PowerDirector suits the bill and it measures right up there with all the other ones. Somebody else who has other needs might say PowerDirector doesn't suit their needs, so it doesn't measure up to them. So it really depends on the individual, Delvin. It's how it goes. All right. So thank you for your question, Delvin. I appreciate you, man. Let's see here. I'm going to just do a quick run through of what's going on my live stream here. I just want to make sure everything is up to snuff. All right. So you guys are going to have to bear with me for a few seconds while I do this. Once again, sorry about the delay, guys. Just trying to make sure I got everything on here. All right. All right, so I want to go ahead and address some of these super chats that I got on here real quick. All right. We got Socrates Vela, who says, Professor Malik, mucho bueno, brother. What was your MOS? Oh, my God. So you got to ask about the military, huh? You trying to get into the military, Socrates? So I was in the Air Force. I was a cryptologic linguist. I'm going to tell you right now, man, I'm so old. That was so long ago. I don't know what my code was for my job anymore, but I spoke Spanish. I worked out of San Antonio. And listening to South America, just kind of listening in on what their conversations were, recording those things, transcribing that stuff. It was a boring job, but, you know, it paid the bills. So thanks for asking, Socrates Vela. Thanks for the super chat. $5. Appreciate you, brother. All right. I also got Rick H with the super chat. It says, Malik, thanks for all the great tutorials. Hey, you're welcome, Rich. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the $5 super chat. It means the world to me that you guys are supporting the channel. It's all love. It's all love. All right. So those are the super chats. Let's go ahead and see what other questions we got on here. So we got a question here from California Phantom. It says, you going to be doing any PowerDirector business in the future? So, California Phantom, what's going on? Nice to see you, my brother. Thanks for joining me today, man. I really don't know what that could be. PowerDirector business. Are you like referring to me doing any type of like paid for tutorials or any types of books or effects or whatever? Look, I'm telling you right now, I do have a full-time job. This is a side hustle, if nothing more than that. And I also have my side hustle besides YouTube, of where I go out and I film events and edit and things like that. So I got a lot going on. And I have a full-time job. I'm a IT portfolio manager, and I'm a process engineer. So I got a whole lot of other stuff going on. So I do want to do those things, California Phantom, but I think that I need to build my way up to those things, and I'll probably need to do them later on. It might be a few years out, maybe once I retire from my full-time gig, then I'll do some other power director business. But before that, I don't think I'm ready for all of that. I think if any of you guys remember, I kind of stopped doing videos. I had some other channels that I stopped doing altogether because it was too much for me. So I don't want to go back there to that place. So if I do anything other than what I'm doing right now, it's probably going to be a few years down the road. All right. Okay. So I got Woodland Poetry and Books. So Woodland Poetry and Books asks, is there a way to add mask to the main track? So I am assuming that Woodland Poetry and Books is referring to the PowerDirector app. So on the PowerDirector app, there are certain effects that you can add on the main track, and then certain effects that you can only add to the overlay track, and vice versa, right? Like I think speed can only be added to the main track, and you can't add speed to any overlays. And I think the motion keyframe, or transform keyframe can only be added to things on the overlay track and can't be added to things on the main track. So I don't know of a way to change that functionality at all. There are certain parameters within the app that they just go ahead and have set up a certain way, and you can't change those things around. I wish that they had more flexibility with that, and maybe in the future on the PowerDirector app, they will build in some settings where you can change things like that around. But for now, if you can only do certain things on the main track or certain things on the overlay track, there's no way to change that. All right. Let's see. I'm looking here for some good questions. So we got another question here from Woodland Poetry and Books, who says, sorry for being a pest, but can you change the pitch of just one word in your narration, or should I re-record the whole thing? So you're not being a pest, first and foremost. And secondly, yeah, you can. Now, if you create a voiceover track, you can split the voiceover however you want. Stretch out your timeline. You can split the section into its own separate section that you can go ahead and adjust the pitch on just that one part of the narration, whether it's one word, 2 words, 3 words, whatever. You can do that in the software. Now, once again, I'm talking about the desktop version. Okay. Now, with the app version, you can also go ahead and do those splits, and you can change the pitch on just a single word. So whichever version you have, desktop, PC, that functionality is there. All right, Steve Williams. Steve says, what are the specs of your own personal rig? So I don't know them off the top of my head. I know some of them, but not all of them. But I will say that in each one of my videos, there is a link to my my computer build. So if you want to see all the things in there, that all the specs of my computer, that's there. Matter of fact, why don't we just look at that? How about that? You can go ahead and pull that up, and then that way you'll have your answer. Every time you need to find something, you can't find it. Ain't that how it works? Let's see. All right, so let me go ahead and pull this up for your viewing pleasure. All right, so on the screen right here, we have, this is a kit. So if you want to check out this, I can put it in the chat for you guys real quick. Be careful here, you're about to see some craziness. So there's a link there in the chat that I just added. So this is my editing PC. These are the specs of the things I use. Now I've had this setup for a while, so this isn't like the newest, greatest stuff out there, but this is what I'm using. So as far as the specs, so I have a Core i9 7900 X series with 10 cores. Okay, so I go as far as high as I can go. The i9, pretty higher than i7 and all those other ones out there. I have 2 of these 1 terabyte solid state drives, one for my system and then one for just putting data on, like any shadow files, things like that. These 10 terabyte internal hard drives, these are actually being used in my external hard drive. So I have 4 of those. So I have 40 terabytes on an external drive that I put and archive all of my videos and things in there. This is my video card, older video card. It's 11 gigs. So people say, well, I got a 2 gig, I got a 3 gig. I overkill. I go as high and mighty as I can. So I have the HyperX Kingston Technology HyperX drive. I have 32 gigs of RAM. I don't have 8. I don't have 16. I got 32. 32 gigs of RAM. I got this cooler, liquid cooler. This is the external hard drive I was talking about that I have. I don't have these monitors anymore. I now have a 49-inch ultra wide monitor that I use. But everything else on here is exactly what's on my PC or in my external hard drive right now. And this is the case that I use, and this is the motherboard that I use. So these are my specs, baby. You want to check them out? You got all the links here where you can buy all of this stuff if you want to buy it, or you want to check out the prices, check them out. Excuse me. All right. Let me see where I'm at here. All right. All right, let's see what other questions we got. All right, Madison Ferrari says, "Hi, teacher. Why Cyberlink doesn't sell old versions for us? I have version 16. I'd like to buy a lifetime version 20. Lost your stuff. Let me see if I can pull that back up here. Lifetime version 20. My earnings in YouTube are not sufficient to pay for an annual subscription. So, why don't they sell old versions? I would say that they don't sell old versions as a business, and most businesses don't sell old versions because there's upkeep involved with that. So in order to continue to sell old versions, they would have to support those old versions with updates. And once they move on to the new version, they don't want to have to spend the resources to update old versions of the program. As you'll notice, when they come out with PowerDirector version 20, they had updates for it. You could have bought PowerDirector version 20 when it was the current version of the software, and you could have bought a standalone lifetime license for it. You still can for version 21, right? So you can buy version 21 and you can get a lifetime license for that. You don't have to pay for an annual subscription. Now, once again, there are links to the lifetime license upgrade in the video description of any one of my videos. If you click on show more, you will see links where you can buy the lifetime license of the current version of PowerDirector. So if you want a lifetime license, you can get it. Now, they're not going to sell old versions once again because they're not going to pay to support and update old versions of the program when they have a new version or a current version that they have to go ahead and update, take care of bugs, take care of errors, all those types of things on a regular basis. So you don't need to buy an annual subscription if you don't want to. You can buy the annual subscription or you can buy the current version via a lifetime license. Check out the links in my videos for more information on that. All right. So Fusion Game says, is there a way to get auto subtitles? So right now, there is not a way to get auto subtitles on the Windows version of PowerDirector. Now, I don't know if it's subtitles or not. I think it's subtitles. It might just be text. I'm not sure. But I know that on the Mac version, they just came out with a speech to text functionality for the Mac version or the iOS version or both. So if you got Windows, hopefully it'll be coming in the future. So Chris Flores asks, what editor do you use for your own videos? I use PowerDirector for my videos. So my workflow it involves at least two types of software most times. So first one is a screen recorder. So the screen recorder I use is called Camtasia. The only reason why I use Camtasia over the PowerDirector screen recorder is because Camtasia has a built-in feature where when you record your screen, it will track your mouse movements. So as you can see on my tutorials, you see the little yellow bubble around the mouse that helps you follow it around. And then whenever I click on something, the yellow bubble has these red rings in it. That's something that comes with Camtasia. So what I do is I use that to record my tutorials. Then once I have it recorded, I bring that footage into PowerDirector and I do all my editing out all my boo-boos, mistakes, craziness, and all of that jazz. And then I go ahead and produce it, put it on YouTube. Mazteca Film says, would you recommend PowerDirector 20 Ultimate for music videos? Yes. I mean, it depends. Once again, it depends on what you want to do in your music videos. If you're creating a music video and you can get the effects done that you need to get done, I've done many music videos using PowerDirector, so I don't think it's a problem at all. You just have to know the limitations of what you can and can't do. And like I said, it's all about shooting. What are you shooting? What is your lighting? What is the atmosphere you're trying to create? What's the story you're trying to tell? It's not just about editing. Editing is just chopping stuff up and putting it in the order you want. I mean, that's really what editing is at its core. Yes, you do need to know how to go ahead and do other things within editing. Like some things can be complex, yes. But for the most part, when you watch a movie, besides a movie with a bunch of effects, if you watch a movie like, I don't know, any movie that's a drama where they're speaking most of the movie. Obviously, I don't watch those types of movies because I can't think of one right now. But if they're not doing effects, don't need green screens and all this stuff, they could use whatever to make that movie. It's not complex. They're just putting scenes together. And that's what editing is. So, yeah, you can use it for a music video. Nathan Starr says, what's your favorite YouTube video editing channel? PowerDirector University. Pretty easy question there, Nathan. You was setting me up for that one, my brother. I think you was setting me up, but hopefully I passed the test. Brian Rodriguez says, how does PowerDirector measure up in terms of color grading? Is PowerDirector worth it? I want some legit color grading quality. So your question was, how does PD measure up in terms of color grading? It's pretty limited. I mean, you've seen the color adjustment tools that are there, but then the only real color grading is like they have LUTs, and you can change the intensity of the LUT, but that's about it. PowerDirector goes a step further by giving you things like histograms. It's got curves. It's got some other functionality with color grading, and I think it's pretty good. Do I prefer that over something like DaVinci Resolve when it comes to color grading? I would prefer a DaVinci Resolve when I need to do color grading. So if I use like I got a Canon C70, and I like to record RAW, and I like to record in a C-Log2, a log profile. So when I use that camera, I can't even use PowerDirector to color grade because PowerDirector won't accept the RAW codec. So I have to use DaVinci Resolve, and I have to use that to get the C-Log profile looking correct, like looking like it does to the eye, like a RGB. And then I also have to do my color grading there. But after I do that and I render the video, I'll bring the video into PowerDirector to do all my editing and stuff like that. So that probably answers your question. If I were you and you want to get the best color grading tool out there, I would say go with DaVinci Resolve for now until PowerDirector steps up and adds things like color wheels and more functionality with nodes and things like that, where I can layer my color changes and things like that. That's what I would be looking for from PowerDirector, and it doesn't have those functions right now. So let's see. All right, Peter J. Milner. What's up, Peter J. Milner? Peter J. Milner. What's up, Pete? There's an alternative app for PC called PowerDirector Business, so I guess it could be about that. I'm keen to understand the differences myself. Yeah, you know what? So when they were asking about PowerDirector Business stuff, that's a great clarification there, Peter. I appreciate you, my brother. I've never used it myself, so I really wouldn't be the one to give you more insight into that. And I don't really plan on doing anything with it at this point. I think it's a pretty narrow scope of editing for a YouTube channel, but maybe it's a good niche. I don't know. I haven't really thought about going down that path. All right, we got Prince Jacob. It says, I still use PowerDirector 15. Can background be removed from video in PowerDirector 15 version? So the only way that you could do that is by doing a green screen. You shoot on a green screen and you can change your background to whatever you want it to be on PowerDirector 15. you can mask things out, but they're not, you can't do like a custom mask. You can do mask shapes on PowerDirector 15, but nothing more than that. So if the thing that you want to mask out fits a shape, then I guess you could. Otherwise, PowerDirector 15 really doesn't have tools for doing that type of thing. Now, also keep in mind, no matter what version of PowerDirector you have right now, if you do want to remove a background from something, you can do it. It's easier to do if something is static in the video. If something's moving around, you can't mask it out like that either. You'd have to go frame by frame and mask it, which would be a tedious pain in the behind. So that would be something that you would probably want to step up to a more complex editor like Premiere Pro if you wanted to do something like that. See what else we got. All right. All right. Stay focused says, is it better to run PowerDirector on a gaming PC for smoother operation? It depends on the specs of the gaming PC. Once again, like I said, I'm all about being overpowered with my specs more than what I probably need to have. But that causes me to have a pretty smooth and flawless experience when I'm using the program. If the gaming PC has better specs than the other PC that you're using right now, then yeah, it is going to be better. But my advice, build your own PC. Build your own PC. It's going to cost you less in the long run, even if you get like better components, and it's easy to do. People think, well, it's going to be hard to build a PC. You could watch a YouTube video and build a PC, just like you could watch a video of me doing a tutorial to learn how to do something. It's really easy to do. I just watched a YouTube video. I found YouTube videos about building PCs. I found one that I liked, and I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go all in. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, the worst that would have happened is if I couldn't do it, then I would have to take it to a computer place and let them do it for me. And I was able to do it. And I've been editing on this bad boy for a minute. So that's my advice. All right, let's see. So Nathan Starr says, if you don't mind saying, what's your day job? So I don't know, maybe I'm a little far behind on the questions right now, but I did talk about that a little bit earlier. So my day job, I am a IT portfolio manager, and I'm a process engineer. So an IT portfolio manager manages a portfolio of different IT projects. So wherever you work at, they're doing things to fix their website, their app online, their member experience, phone calls, whatever. And there are a bunch of IT projects that are being used to solve problems such as those. And I have to manage that book of business, all of the work in the portfolio, from the budget to the strategy to the tactical solutions, all of that type of stuff. I work with a team of people to work on that. Now, I'm also a process engineer. So as a process engineer, I'm a Six Sigma black belt. That's not karate, okay? It's actually process discipline. And with that, I guess, certification, I'm able to look at different processes and find gaps, find solutions. There's a bunch of different tools and different types of exercises that I lead people through to try to find the solutions and solve things. We do a standard called DMAICs. We do lean. We do all types of things to try to help improve things. So that's my day job, Nathan. And let's see. Let's see. So Christian Rex Rubia says, "Hello, PD teacher. Does PowerDirector have curve, perspective, bend text, or 3D text?" So it does. Is it like the best 3D text in the world? Probably not. You could probably get away with using like a free program like Blender or something like that to make better 3D text. So you can check that out if you need to. It has it, just, probably falls short of the best 3D stuff out there. All right, just got another super chat, $5 super chat from True Challenge Proof. Says, how can I become more proficient in PD? Are there courses? Also, what is your background? How did you get started in PD? Why PD? All right, so a lot of questions there, but first and foremost, appreciate the super chat, my friend. I think right now the best way to become proficient in PowerDirector is just practice, just doing it, using it as much as you can. The more you use it, the better you're gonna get, man. Also, my tutorials. I got a bunch of different playlists on YouTube with different in different categories. You can go in there, check those out, and learn tutorial by tutorial. But practice is going to be the main thing that's going to help you get to where you want to be. As far as myself, my background, I guess you mean my background in video. So I started making videos when I was in the Air Force. Just started kind of making videos for people who were like PCSing or getting out, separating from the military. And that just grew into a passion. Started doing things for family and friends, whether it was, weddings or different events and things like that. And then it just grew from there, really, man. It's just time, practice, and know-how. I mean, doing things, making mistakes, and learning from them. It's a big thing. Now, I mean, I got all kind of, I have clients that I do work for on a regular basis. I do, I'm like the technical guy on different podcasts, on different shows, stuff like that. So I do a lot of stuff out there now, but it all comes from repetition, practice, and learning. And that's the best way to get better as far as I'm concerned. Let's see here. So I do see a few comments on here, not really questions, but comments about things like, hey, my graphics card or my motherboard or whatever. And at the end of the day, this is what I would tell anybody who has PowerDirector. I'm going to tell you guys the same thing about my PC. It works. It don't stop. It don't freeze. I don't have no problems with it. Whatever video I throw at it, it works perfectly. I don't need to update like my video card if it's working just fine. It's not slowing down. It's not doing anything wrong. I'm going to rock with it. I'm going to roll and let that bad boy keep going. and doing its job as long as it can. So that's just me. I tell people with PowerDirector the same thing. That people ask me, should I upgrade? I'm like, if the version you got is doing everything you needed to do, and this new version that just came out doesn't have any tools that you're like, ooh, I gotta have it because it has that new tool. Keep what you got if it works. There's no need. If you have version 20, there's only a few new things on version 21. Can you really not live without those few things? If you can, stick with 20, right? Same thing with the graphics card. If your graphics card is working, it's 11 gigs and it's strong as heck and it's doing everything it needs to do, I'm not worried about it. So maybe old, I'm old too, but I do a damn good job at what I do. Let's see. All right. I'm not Chuck says I'm really slow at editing. Tell me the secret of editing a 12-minute video in 2 hours. Man, there ain't no secret at that, my brother. It's really going to come down to you and your pace and what you need to get done in that video. It depends on what type of video you're editing, what you need to do. It depends on a lot of different things, man. And once again, practice, repetitiveness, getting to know what you need to do, knowing how to do it so that you can go ahead and run through those things really quickly. I would also say things like keyboard hotkeys and shortcuts. Those things really come in handy when you're editing, but there's a learning curve there. If you're not using hotkeys right now, you're going to have to start using them at some point, because when your hands are down on the keyboard and you're doing stuff, it speeds up your editing because you have familiarity and muscle memory with those hotkeys. You can go ahead and start banging out edits real fast. So, I mean, that's one thing I would say to do, learn the hotkeys. But of course, once again, it's a learning curve. You're going to have to learn how to do those things. So, all right, let's see. Chris Lauterbach, what's going on, Chris? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining me, my brother. Glad to see you. Says, does PD have any of that compositing abilities like hit film? No, not really. So what it does have is like, I can't even remember the name of it right now. Where you could take projects and insert them into other projects. Like you can grab one project and add it in. That's about the closest thing that you're going to get to compositing in PowerDirector. What I usually do is I bounce it. So if I need a composite of something, I really got to make sure that I'm done with everything at that point, because what I'll do is I'll produce that segment and then I'll bring it back into the project with the rest of the stuff that I'm doing. But the problem with that is you can't change anything from that because you've already produced it. And once you produce it, like, it's done. So with the composite, the difference is you can change things around. So the feature that PowerDirector does have is the ability to layer multiple projects into the same project. I can't remember the technical name that they use for it right now, or the name of the feature, but if anybody else knows what I'm talking about, just drop it into the chat. All right, let's see. Appreciate that, Steve. See, for your age, you look damn good. Well, I try to take care of myself, but, I do what I can do, Steve. I do what I can do. Okay. Robert Blackburn said, I had 8 gigs of RAM on my Windows 10 machine. Just added another 16 gigs of RAM for a total of 24. Boy, what a difference it made. Program runs great. Yep. I mean, you add that memory, I'm telling you, I got 32. And this bad boy just floats. like buttress smooth. But the more RAM you get, it costs money. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it don't cost some money to add RAM, because it does. It's a expensive endeavor, but if you want the best experience, sometimes you got to pay for it. True Challenge Proof said, "Why did you choose PowerDirector and not another?" Why did I choose PowerDirector and not another? Well, I have used others. I've used a bunch of others. I've used Pinnacle Studio. So I actually had a YouTube channel called Pinnacle Studio Pro. If you look it up, you'll find it. It's still out there. And I used to make tutorials for Pinnacle Studio, and I used to make tutorials for PowerDirector all at the same time. So I used that. I also used Adobe all the way up to Adobe CS6, right before they went to a subscription. So I used Adobe for a long time. And I'm well versed at using that too. And the thing I didn't like about Adobe is, for somebody who likes a computer that's overkill, I don't need a program that's overkill. It was too complex. There's too many different things to get to too much stuff. PowerDirector, I went with PowerDirector because it's simple, it's fast, and it works. And it does the things that I needed to do. So PowerDirector, the interface was easy to learn. When I noticed how fast it was, like rendering stuff, it's amazingly different than like Adobe. Like, just to try to watch a video, preview it, you've got to do things in order to be able to do that, because it's always trying to render things, and it just takes forever. It's a pain. I don't like it. Some people love it. Great for them. I mean, you like Adobe and you want to use it, thumbs up. I have no problem with people who use it. For me, I wanted something that was fast, easy to use, and just didn't have a bunch of extra stuff that I wasn't looking to use. So that's me. All right. So Woodland Poetry and Book says, can you do global changes on the app, or do you have to do a piece by piece? You got to do a piece by piece. Can't do any global changes to the whole timeline or anything like that. It's just not capable on the app. So Peter says, I recently bought both the Loop Deck Live and the Loop Deck CD. Do you have any insight into either these or anything similar in PowerDirector? No, I don't. But I was looking at the Loop Deck Live myself, and I'm like, do I need that for what I'm doing? Man, I'm all about the newest technology, people. Don't get it twisted. Like, I love the new stuff, but sometimes I'm like, I think I saved myself a few bucks here and there because I start to wonder, like, am I going to use that? Like, do I need like multiple camera views? And do I need I got this one right now. I'm streaming this on a webcam, a Elgato face cam. I used to use a EOS R to do my live streams before. Now I just, I said, let me downsize. Do I need that? I just need a good camera. I think this camera is doing a pretty damn good job myself. And then for my live stream, I've got a stream deck, but I don't even really use that anymore. I'm just jumping between two screens, and I could do that within my live streaming software that I use. So, nah, Pete, I don't really know anything about the Loop Deck. I'm interested in learning more about it. So if you know more and you want to share more, I mean, you got the Facebook users group, Facebook page, all of that stuff. You can go ahead and post something around them on there if you want to. And I'd love to see it, but nah, I don't have too much insight into that. Let's see. Trying to see if I missed any questions. I don't really think I missed anything on here. I mean, I know there's a bunch of comments, and I appreciate all the comments too. Don't get it twisted. Brother like me trying to get through with the questions, because this is a Q&A. So if you got questions, ask and you shall receive, my friends. I'm going to give a little bit of love to some of these comments on here. Greg Terry Experience says, first, much appreciation to you. I streamed from the Ukraine and needed mobile software to produce video on the go in a war zone. Found your channel and gave PD a try on iPhone and iPad. It's fantastic. First of all, man, Greg Terry, appreciate you and everything you're doing to get the story out of Ukraine. People like yourself that put themselves in harm's way to make sure that we see the truth is what we need in this world, man. So thank you so much for everything that you do, my friend. Hey, I wish I could take credit for like PowerDirector being so great. I can't. But I definitely am humbled by the fact that you and everybody else on here watches my tutorials and looks at my content and comes to me for advice and questions like this. Like, just to think, like, man, I was just a dude making videos, you know? And I have knowledge and expertise around the subject, but I'm blessed to know that people decided to follow me, pay attention to what the heck I had to say and what I was doing out there. So without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. So thanks a lot, man. And thank you, Greg Terry, for everything you're doing out there. Stay safe in the Ukraine, my friend. So the Vari says, don't you think that the bundled version of PowerDirector is lame? Audacity does the job. Audacity definitely does the job. I mean, Audacity is like, I don't really think that you need any other audio editor except Audacity, because it's free and it does almost anything you needed to do. I mean, I can't really think of anything on the top of my head that it can't do. Like, it does the same things that PowerDirector can do and the same things that Adobe Audition can do. So I can't disagree with you. But for those people who want the bundle, is it worth it to them to have the functionality to be able to go between the different programs, just jump from one to the other, take an audio file that's already in PowerDirector, click on a button, and have that file automatically imported into PowerDirector, do what you got to do, hit another button, and have it brought back into PowerDirector with those changes? Someone might think that ease of use and that integration is worth the money. I don't know. It's to each his own, my brother. There is no absolutes in this world. There are no absolutes. Everybody got an opinion and a need, and they're not all the same. So, yes, I think Audacity can do everything it can do. And yes, I think that some people out there who have PowerDirector will find value in it, because it not only does those same things, but it's integrated. So, that's my opinion. Metro Boomin says, question: when downloading B-roll from Shutterstock, what's the easiest way to find the B-roll which you downloaded? Oh my God, look, you trying to get me in trouble. So, the easiest way to find it is to go to downloaded in PowerDirector. Okay? So let me just repeat that loudly so everyone can hear. The easiest way to find Shutterstock downloads is by going to download it in PowerDirector. All right? So, right here, Just download it. And this should be all the stuff that you downloaded. And it's probably going to take forever. Let me cancel this because I don't want to go there. I'm mad. See, here's some stuff that I downloaded. Okay. So there you go. That's how you get there, people. So if you're asking how to find the files on your machine, like where are they on my PC? I got in trouble for telling people that. I actually had a video and it was out for like a week and it was crushing it on YouTube. I mean, crushing. And I ended up getting a copyright strike. Now, let me tell you, it's funny. I tried to dispute the copyright strike because I reached out to Shutterstock and I reached out to PowerDirector and I said, Shutterstock gave me a copyright strike for this video. And I sent the video to both of them and said, why you give me a copyright strike? This is royalty-free stuff. There's no copyright infringement that's happening here. And they were like, well, in the end user license agreement, it says that you can only access the Shutterstock files from PowerDirector. You're not allowed to access them from your PC. And by showing other people where the files live on your PC, I was violating the end user license agreement. And I said, okay. So if I'm violating the end user license agreement, that means that you're supposed to take my license from the software. Like, I'm not allowed to use the software. And I was very upfront with that. I was like, that's a license agreement violation. That's not a copyright violation. I have not broken any copy. So why are you giving me a copyright strike on YouTube for this video? They never responded. Okay? Never responded. So I left it alone. 30 days went by. The copyright strike got dropped. And I moved on with life. But I'll tell you one thing. I ain't never telling nobody where them files is at. I know where they at. And if I need them, look, I still violate. I still violate on my own. No, I don't. I don't violate, y'all. I do nothing wrong. I never use those files. I never go to where those files are on my PC. I just know where they live. I never go there. Never. And but I will tell you this. I'm never telling anybody about it again because I got in trouble. For no reason, I think. I won't say I got in trouble for no reason. I should have got in trouble. Maybe they should have took the software license from me and said I can't use that version of PowerDirector anymore. That would have been fair to me. I would have been like, all right, dang, I can't use that one. I'll use the older version, blah, blah, blah. But giving me a copyright strike? That's kind of foul. They kind of went left on that one with me, but it's neither here nor there, man. I'm going to move on, get off my little soapbox and move on back to being a healthy person. Whatever I am. Let's see. All right. All right. Yeah, Prince Jacob says, I believe I remember this happening to you. I'm sorry that happened to you, Professor. You elevated PowerDirector and hopefully you get proper compensation. Yeah, I don't get like any compensation from like from Cyberlink. The only compensation that I get is from you guys being members. So if you hit join underneath the video, you want to be a member, you want to contribute to me on a monthly basis and help me keep the channel growing and going, you can hit join. join the channel. Also, if you want to just hit me up with a super chat or a super sticker, click on that little $ underneath the comment section, and you can send me a contribution. If you're able to do that, that would be great. If not, you know, hopefully you'll get me back next time around. Let's see. So Reality Design 1 said, how do I add free music to my YouTube videos at a specific point of the video? So, I'm not sure when you're trying to integrate the music to the video. Is it already on YouTube and you're trying to then add music to a video that's already on YouTube? Not too sure. I haven't really gone through that process before. I know YouTube has a video editor, and once your video is uploaded to YouTube, if you click on that video editor, it does have an option to add music. I don't know what functionality they have built in and where you can or can't add the music, but I know that that does live within YouTube. If you're asking about how to do that, like using PowerDirector, I mean, wherever you get your music from, all you got to do is import it. You can drag the music file right to the media library window. You can click on import and go to the location of the music on your PC. Then once you get it in the PowerDirector, you can just go ahead and drag it to the track you want to have it on, you know, and have the starting point wherever you need it to start. It's pretty simple. All right. All right, looks like things have slowed down a bit here. We've hit the hour point in our conversation. So, I just want to thank everybody for coming through. It has been a great Q&A. All the questions were awesome. You guys rock. I love the community that I've built here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know, TikTok. You guys are like so special, and I really appreciate the fact that you guys come to me for your video editing knowledge and how to use PowerDirector. It means a lot to have fans like you in my corner and having my back. So thank you guys so much. Just keep in mind, I will be doing these live Q&As every single Wednesday. So if you got a new question you think of or anything like that, come back next Wednesday. Check me out. I'll be here answering more questions, showing you guys more PowerDirector love like I always do. All right. Thank you guys for stopping by. Appreciate you all. Have a good night.